Still celebrating the beauty of film, and of course there I get to appear on your screens. Ayent Dasha, the Ugandan movie ambassador, I get to give you the latest of what has been making trails as far as the industry can be concerned of. Now, I've been talking about 27 Guns, and I've done a few interviews, just very few, but I decided to, you know what, just get straight into the characters and get to find out what was it like for these young gentlemen to pull off these tremendous roles. I'm talking about the generals, yeah? The generals, those guys who never used to joke. Apparently they would eat beans without even frying them. But anyway, I have two gentlemen in studio with me, and they'll be telling me about their roles. I'm not going to introduce them, they're going to introduce themselves. Yes, let's begin it off with you, Stephen, please.
Well, good morning. My name is Ayent Steve. I'm a film director and an actor.
Acting as a general who?
General Julius Oketta.
Okay, in 27 Guns. All right, the bad man. Introduce yourself, please.
My name is Sezi Jedediah Nuwewenka, and I was playing the role of Salim Saleh.
Salim Saleh, there you have it. Now, let us first talk about the first time that they did approach you for auditions to play these roles. Have you ever acted before, Sez?
This is actually my first time in a movie on screen. Never acted before, but I wanted to. Yeah.
When they did approach you to do pull off this interesting character of Salim Saleh, what was your reaction like?
Well, you've heard things about Salim Saleh, and I thought this would be an interesting character to play. But I also knew the responsibility, to portray a real-life character is harder than to just play someone who's imaginary. So it was a big responsibility, but I wanted to actually do it.
You have been in this industry for quite some time. You're a director, you're a writer, you're an actor. Now they do approach you to pull off this general kind of role. Of course, we have seen you do your very good directing with generals as far as your previous movie, The Konyi Story, is all about. So you are familiar with this whole gun situation. But this time around, you're looking at something on a very bigger budget, using real guns and with real soldiers on set. How did that feel to you?
Well, it was very exciting. When I was contacted, they didn't tell me the role I was going to play. They just wanted to see what I could pull off. And I was happy when they told me that you have a role and you're playing Major General Oketta. So I had to do research about the guy. The guy was very intelligent. May his soul rest in peace, he died. Very intelligent, very brave. And for me, to play a guy like that was an honor. Yeah.
Now, for those of the people who have actually watched the movie, you two seem to be rivals at the first. Now, we're just flashing back into the movie. Now, you're dealing with Major General Oketta and General Salim Saleh. How do you guys pull off this role? You're rivals in the movie, and then at some point you have an intersection bit. Help me understand your story. Let's begin with Salim Saleh.
Yes. So, in the movie, General Oketta tries to take out Salim Saleh, tries to kill him, basically. So they have that confrontation. Now we had to get into position where we had to be against each other.
General Oketta, tell me about this interesting scenario between the two of you. The climax bit of it exactly is what I want to look at, where you guys tend to ally forces together.
Well, for me, this gives me the definition of power in life. Okay. Because if I tried to kill him and the guy still forgave me and made me in charge of a serious battalion, like a very big battalion, yet I tried to kill him. In the film, you see me trying to fire a tongue and try to kill the gentleman. And he comes and says, you tried to kill me, but I forgive you. Are you willing to join? You see? So this gives you the picture of this guy just wanted freedom. He didn't care whether I was trying to kill him. Everyone was doing their job.
Interesting. Now, still talking about 27 Guns, we definitely have a trailer for those of you who haven't watched this movie and what you should expect the moment you hit the cinema, because it is still showing at one of the cinemas downtown, and of course we'll get to find out where we can get ourselves copies. Now, here's a trailer for 27 Guns, and we'll get back into the interview.
They came and they killed unarmed civilians with pangas and knives.
How can we live like this?
No one here will hurt you.
Myself,
together with my comrades, we have formed the Popular Resistance Army. We are a movement against tyranny, extrajudicial murders, against rape, and against any form of oppression imposed on us.
This man and his goons are bandits.
Without weapons, the young men and women will not amount to much.
Let him go through. This, therefore, is a declaration of war.
I simply don't believe his is a cause anybody is going to follow.
Most of us are here because we believe in this cause, this fight for liberation.
Sacrifice. We attack by tomorrow morning. And all we have is 27 guns, 41 men, and hope.
All right, there you have it, an interesting one, of course, to do catch up with. Now, back to you, Sez, of course, acting as General Salim Saleh. He is a person who smokes a cigarette, and from a personal point of view, you don't smoke. Having been on set for a couple of days and months, doing this very intensive character, has smoking become an addictive habit to you?
Not at all. Not at all.
Don't you miss those days of having the cigarette on your lips and then you're just puffing out something?
Not at all. Because I had never smoked before this, so I had to take it on. And for the sake of realism, I had to actually do it. I didn't want to just hold the cigarette and then just, pretend as if you're smoking, because it wouldn't portray the real character.
Tell me about your most interesting bit in this movie during the production of it. You playing that tremendous role of a general. It's just a young man being picked from the streets. You've never acted before, and they're telling you, man, you're going to be a general. You're going to have a gun with you 24/7, and it's going to be loaded. How was it like?
Well, just to recap on what he said, his scene was actually one of my my best scenes. Exactly, because he comes into view, you just see a sudden general on top of a tank, and he says, "Fire!" And that was actually a very iconic scene for me.
What were some of your real ideal challenges trying to pull off this interesting role?
Well, for one, I've never acted. It's my first time in front of a screen, so I have to get used to that pressure of delivering. So even all this, I'm still getting used to. Yeah, but it's a challenge that I would like to take on. I like the film industry. There's so much I've learned from the cast, from the crew. You work with so many interesting individuals, like this man over here. You get to meet so many interesting people. So it's something I'd actually like to continue doing.
Steve, the role you did act, just as we do get to wrap up, between you and of course him, you can make a movie out of it just looking at the story that was built between Major General, of course Oketta, and of course him, Saleh, in the bush. You can just make a movie out of it. Now, as a movie director, do you plan on having a movie out of this piece, just the two of you?
Well, I can tell you that 27 Guns, everyone will, every role, every character in 27 Guns is a character and it's a movie on its own. Okay. But I can tell you, the role I played and Saleh, it's a film that if it's done, it will teach people a lot of things. It will teach people how to forgive. It will teach people so much. So for me, I feel like if there was an opportunity, this would be a great film. Yeah. As a film director, well, I'm thinking about it.
All right, interesting. Says, as we get to wrap up, your last words for the viewers watching us, knowing that you're now stepping into the film industry and you're not thinking about turning back.
Well, one thing I can say is that if you love something, go ahead and do it. Don't be afraid to try, to experiment, to explore, and last but not least, always trust in God.
There you have it, an interesting one coming in from, of course, the biggest generals and 27 guns. I'll get to, talk to a couple of more individuals. I want to get in touch with Arnold, the guy that does play as YKM7, and of course the Katahas. I'll be bringing one by one. We need to understand where they do come from as far as 27 guns can be related to. And for those of you who are interested in getting just a hard copy of your own, just get over to their social media pages. Their pages are very active. Facebook, it is 27 guns. Twitter, it is 27 guns. Just get there, follow them, like their pages, and send them a direct message, and I'm sure they'll give you a hint on how to get yourself a copy of 27 guns. It has been a great moment for me on the show. I'll see you guys on the timeline. Hit me up on Twitter, which is at Aine Dasha. Instagram is Microphone Camera Official, and for Facebook, it is Aine Derek. Like the page, leave a comment. I'll definitely get back to you guys.